The United States Air Force operates over 5,200 aircraft, with a budget exceeding $200 billion annually. F-22 Raptors, F-35 Lightning IIs, B-2 stealth bombers, and air superiority capabilities that no other nation matches. Russia operates approximately 3,900 aircraft, including Su-57 stealth fighters, S-400 air defense systems, and integrated defenses designed specifically to counter American air power. This is every major aircraft and weapon system both nations would deploy. And whether Russian air defenses, electronic warfare, and numerical advantages in surface-to-air missiles create enough threat that American air superiority becomes contested. We start with American fighters designed to dominate airspace. F-22 Raptor, the fifth-generation air superiority fighter that represents the peak of American air combat capability. These operate with stealth that makes radar detection nearly impossible, supercruise capability allowing sustained supersonic flight without afterburners, and sensor fusion providing pilots with situational awareness that fourth-generation fighters can't match. The Air Force operates approximately 185 F-22s armed with AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles for beyond visual range combat and AIM-9X sidewinders for close-range engagements. Against Russian Su-35 and Su-57 fighters, F-22s detect, track, and engage before Russian pilots know American aircraft are present. The stealth advantage is decisive. Russian radars designed to track conventional aircraft fail to maintain locks on F-22s until ranges where American missiles have already launched. In exercises against Allied fourth-generation fighters, F-22s achieve kill ratios exceeding 100-1 because opponents can't effectively engage what they can't detect. Against Russian integrated air defenses, with S-400 missiles and early warning radar, F-22s penetrate, using stealth and electronic warfare, destroying air defense nodes that enable follow-on strikes by less capable aircraft. The limitation is numbers. 185 aircraft can't maintain coverage across multiple theaters simultaneously when conflicts require sustained operations. F-35A Lightning II, the multi-role stealth fighter that the Air Force operates in numbers exceeding 450 with production continuing. These combine stealth, advanced sensors, and networking capability that shares targeting data across all platforms in battlespace. Unlike F-22 optimized for air superiority, F-35s conduct strike missions, suppression of enemy air defenses, close air support, and air-to-air combat using same airframe. The sensor suite includes radar, infrared search and track, distributed aperture system providing 360-degree coverage, and electronic warfare systems that detect, identify, and counter threats. Against Russian air defenses, F-35s operate as intelligence platforms, detecting radar emissions, tracking surface-to-air missile sites, and transmitting targeting data to other aircraft and ground forces. The stealth allows penetration of defended airspace, while sensors map enemy positions for follow-on strikes. Armed with AIM-120 missiles, AIM-9X, and internal weapons bays carrying 2,000-pound bombs or standoff missiles, F-35s conduct missions that required multiple specialized aircraft in previous generations. F-15E Strike Eagle, the heavy fighter bomber that the Air Force operates in numbers exceeding 220, conducting deep strike missions in air superiority when stealth isn't required. These carry massive weapons loads, up to 23,000 pounds of bombs, missiles, and fuel tanks, enabling strikes against targets that F-35 internal weapons bays can't accommodate. With AESA radar detecting targets at extreme ranges, and weapons including JDAM precision bombs, small-diameter bombs, and AMRAAM missiles, Strike Eagles destroy ground targets and engage enemy aircraft. Against Russian defenses, these operate behind F-22s and F-35s that suppress air defenses, conducting strikes once threat environment is reduced. The twin-engine design provides reliability and power for long-range missions deep into hostile territory. F-15EX Eagle II, the newest variant with improved radar, electronic warfare systems, and weapons capacity. 15 CD fighters, providing fourth-generation capability with near-fifth-generation sensors. These carry up to 22 air-to-air missiles, creating missile trucks that operate with F-35s providing targeting data. F-15C/D Eagle, the pure air superiority variant that the Air Force operates for air-to-air combat. These achieved 104 kills with 0 losses in combat, establishing air superiority in conflicts from Desert Storm through modern operations. Armed with AMRAAM and Sidewinder missiles, these engage enemy fighters at ranges exceeding 100 kilometers. Against Russian Su-35 fighters with comparable weapons and sensors, F-15s rely on superior pilot training and tactics, rather than equipment advantages. F-16CD Fighting Falcon, the lightweight multi-role fighter that the Air Force operates in numbers exceeding 900, conducting everything from air superiority to close air support to suppression of enemy air defenses. These are the workhorses of American air power, conducting more sorties than any other fighter and operating from bases worldwide. Armed with AMRAAM missiles, sidewinders, precision bombs, and rockets, F-16s destroy targets from hardened bunkers to enemy aircraft. Against Russian fighters and air defenses, F-16s operate in large formations that overwhelm defenses through numbers and coordinated tactics. The single-engine design provides cost-effective capability that allows mass production and sustained operations. A-10 Thunderbolt II, the dedicated close air support aircraft, mounting 30 mm GAU, 8 Avenger Gatling gun-firing armor-piercing rounds that destroy tanks, vehicles, and fortifications. These operate at low altitude, providing fire supporting ground forces, armed with Maverick missiles, rockets, and bombs. The titanium bathtub protecting pilots and redundant systems provides survivability against ground fire. Against Russian mechanized forces, A-10s conduct tank-killing missions using gun runs and Maverick strikes. The vulnerability is Russian air defenses. Shoulder-fired missiles and anti-aircraft guns threaten slow-flying A-10s operating at low altitude. In high-threat environments, these require air superiority and suppression of air defenses before conducting close air support. F-16 Viper, the designation for latest F-16 variants with improved avionics and weapons. These supplement older F-16CDs with enhanced capability. AC-130 gunship, the heavily armed aircraft mounting 105 mm cannon, 40 mm Bofors gun, and 25 mm Gatling gun for close air support and armed reconnaissance. These orbit target areas providing sustained fires that destroy vehicles, buildings, and personnel. Operating at night using infrared sensors and targeting systems AC-130s conduct precision strikes while remaining difficult for enemy forces to detect and engage. Against Russian forces with modern air defenses, these operate only after air superiority is established and surface-to-air threats are suppressed. Moving on to bombers that conduct strategic strikes. B-2 Spirit, the stealth bomber that represents the ultimate penetration strike capability. Flying wing design with radar cross-section approaching small bird, enabling penetration of the most heavily defended airspace. The Air Force operates 20 B-2s, each carrying 40,000 pounds of weapons in internal bays. These conduct strikes against Russian command centers, air defense nodes, and strategic targets using stealth that makes detection nearly impossible until weapons impact. Flying from bases in continental United States, B-2s conduct missions across globe without forward basing requirements. Against Russian integrated air defenses, with overlapping S-400 and S-300 coverage, B-2s penetrate using combination of stealth, electronic warfare, and routing that avoids highest threat areas. The weapons include 2 000-pound JDAM bombs, massive ordnance penetrators for destroying underground bunkers, and nuclear weapons for strategic deterrent missions. B-1B Lancer, the supersonic bomber carrying 75,000 pounds of weapons in internal bays and external hardpoints. With swing wings providing high-speed dash capability and long-range cruise efficiency, B-2 stealth and B-52 payload can't match. These fly at low altitude using terrain-following radar to avoid detection, then pop up to launch standoff weapons, or conduct high-altitude bombing. Against Russian targets, B-1s launch cruise missiles from beyond air defense range, or conduct penetration strikes. After defenses are suppressed, the Air Force operates approximately 45 B-1s, conducting strikes worldwide. B-52H Stratofortress, the bomber that's been operational since 1952 and will continue flying through 2050s, testament to payload capacity and operational flexibility that replacements can't match. These carry 70,000 pounds of weapons, including cruise missiles, precision bombs, and naval mines. Operating from high altitude beyond threat of most surface-to-air missiles, B-52s launch standoff weapons that strike targets hundreds of miles away. Against Russian air defenses, these launch cruise missiles from international airspace, destroying targets without exposing aircraft to surface-to-air missiles. The Air Force operates 76 B-52s, conducting strikes, maritime patrol, and deterrence missions globally. B-21 Raider, the next-generation stealth bomber under development to supplement and eventually replace B-2s and B-1s. Not yet operational, these will provide improved stealth, range, and payload for penetrating strikes against peer adversaries. Moving on to support aircraft that enable combat operations. KC-135 Stratotanker, the aerial refueling tanker that extends range of fighters and bombers through mid-flight refueling. The Air Force operates approximately 400 KC-135s conducting refueling missions worldwide. Without tankers, F-22s flying from Alaska couldn't reach Russian airspace, B-2s couldn't conduct intercontinental strikes, and fighter deployments would require multiple stops. Tankers orbit in safe airspace, while receivers rendezvous, take fuel, and continue missions. Against Russia, tanker positioning determines strike range. Operating from NATO bases in Europe, tankers extend American fighter range across Eastern Europe and into Russian territory. KC-46 Pegasus, the newer tanker replacing KC-135s with greater fuel capacity and updated systems. These provide modernized refueling capability as older tankers retire. E-3 Sentry AWACS, the airborne early warning and control aircraft with rotating radar dome detecting aircraft at ranges exceeding 250 miles and managing air battles across hundreds of miles of airspace. These coordinate fighter operations, provide threat warnings, and direct aircraft to targets. Against Russian forces, AWACS operating from NATO airspace detect Russian fighters taking off from bases, track formations, and vector American fighters to intercept. The battle management capability multiplies effectiveness of fighters by providing situational awareness that individual aircraft radars can't achieve. E-8 J-STARS, the airborne ground surveillance aircraft detecting and tracking ground vehicles using radar that penetrates weather and darkness. These monitor Russian ground forces, identify convoys and armor formations, and provide targeting data for strikes. Operating from safe airspace, J-STARS enables precision strikes against moving targets that satellite surveillance can't track in real time. RC-135 Rivet Joint, the signals intelligence aircraft conducting electronic reconnaissance, monitoring enemy communications, radar emissions, and electronic signals. These orbit near hostile airspace collecting intelligence that reveals enemy positions, capabilities, and intentions. Against Russia, RC-135s monitor air defense radar, identify surface-to-air missile sites, and detect communications that reveal Russian operations. E-4B Nightwatch, the airborne command post providing national command authority with survivable platform for commanding forces during nuclear war. These operate continuously, maintaining capability to direct strategic forces if ground-based command centers are destroyed. EC-130H Compass Call, the electronic warfare aircraft conducting jamming operations that disrupt enemy communications radar and command and control. These deny Russian forces' ability to coordinate operations by jamming frequencies used for communications. Operating with strike packages, Compass Call aircraft blind defenses, and prevent coordination of responses. C-130J Hercules, the tactical transport conducting cargo and troop movement from rough airfields and forward operating bases. The workhorse of tactical airlift. These deliver supplies to forces operating in austere locations. The Air Force operates hundreds conducting missions worldwide. C-17 Globemaster III, the strategic transport conducting intercontinental cargo movement and tactical delivery to forward bases. These deploy fighters, tanks, helicopters, and supplies across oceans, enabling rapid force projection. The Air Force operates approximately 220 C-17s, providing airlift capacity that no other nation matches. C-5M Super Galaxy, the largest military transport aircraft, carrying outsized cargo including helicopters, armored vehicles, and equipment that smaller transports can't accommodate. These conduct strategic airlift missions moving massive equipment across continents. MC-130J Commando II, the special operations transport conducting infiltration and exfiltration missions in hostile territory. These fly low-level routes using terrain-following radar and night vision, delivering special operations forces to denied areas. CV-22 Osprey, the tiltrotor aircraft combining helicopter vertical takeoff with airplane speed and range. Special operations forces use these for rapid insertion across distances that helicopters can't match. These conduct missions from ships or forward bases, delivering teams deep into hostile territory. H-860 Pavehawk, the combat search and rescue helicopter conducting recovery operations for downed pilots. These penetrate hostile territory using defensive systems and armed escorts, recovering aircrew under fire. Against Russian forces, these would conduct rescues in contested airspace, while fighters provide cover and suppress threats. MQ-9 Reaper, the armed drone conducting intelligence, surveillance, and strike missions using Hellfire missiles and precision bombs. These orbit target areas for extended periods, providing persistent coverage that manned aircraft can't sustain. Against Russian forces, Reapers conduct reconnaissance and strikes in permissive environments, though vulnerability to air defenses limits employment against defended targets. RQ-4 Global Hawk, the high-altitude long-endurance reconnaissance drone providing intelligence across vast areas. These conduct surveillance missions lasting 30-plus hours, monitoring Russian military activities, and providing targeting data. Moving on to weapons that American aircraft employ. AIM-120 AMRAAM, the active radar-guided air-to-air missile that's been the primary beyond-visual range weapon for decades. These launch from American fighters, fly autonomous flight to intercept area, activate onboard radar, and guide to target without further input from launching aircraft. With ranges exceeding 100 miles in latest variants, AMRAAM engages Russian fighters before opponents can return fire. Against Russian R-77 missiles with comparable capability, outcomes depend on supporting systems. American fighters with better radar and electronic warfare detect Russian aircraft first and launch first. AIM-9X Sidewinder, The heat-seeking short-range missile for close-range dogfights. High-off boresight capability allows engagement of targets not directly ahead. Pilot aims using helmet-mounted sight. Missile homes on target infrared signature. Against Russian aircraft in close combat, Sidewinder provides capability for kills that earlier missiles couldn't achieve. AIM 260JATM. The next-generation air-to-air missile, replacing AMRAAM with extended range and improved capability against maneuvering targets and electronic countermeasures. AGM-88 HARM, the anti-radiation missile homing on radar emissions to destroy surface-to-air missile sites. These launch from fighters conducting suppression of enemy air defenses, flying toward Russian radar locations and detonating on impact. The threat forces Russian operators to shut down radars or be destroyed, creating dilemma where tracking American aircraft exposes defenses to harm strikes, while shutting down radars allows American strikes to proceed unopposed. AGM-158 JSM, the stealthy cruise missile launched from aircraft at targets hundreds of miles away. These fly low-altitude routes avoiding radar detection, using GPS and terrain-matching guidance for precision strikes. Against Russian command centers and air defense sites, JASSM provides standoff capability that keeps launching aircraft beyond threat range. JASSM-ER, the extended range variant with 500-plus mile range, enabling strikes deep into Russian territory from aircraft operating in NATO airspace. GBU, 39 small diameter bomb. The 250-pound precision bomb with GPS guidance and wings that extend range to 60-plus miles. These provide cost-effective precision strikes against point targets, vehicles, buildings, radar sites, using smaller warheads than 2,000-pound bombs. Fighters carry multiple SDBs in weapons bays and on external hardpoints, enabling strikes against numerous targets per sortie. GBU-31JDA, the GPS-guided bomb kit that converts unguided bombs into precision weapons. Available in 2,000-pound and 500-pound variants. These strike targets in all weather with accuracy measured in meters. The massive inventory means American aircraft conduct precision strikes at scale that opponents can't match. GBU-53 Stormbreaker, the smart bomb with tri-mode seeker using radar, infrared, and laser guidance for engaging moving targets. Against Russian armor and vehicles, these provide capability to strike targets that have moved since mission planning. GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, the 30,000-pound bunker-buster bomb designed to destroy underground facilities. B-2 bombers carry these for strikes against deeply buried command centers that conventional weapons can't damage. A GM-65 Maverick, the air-to-ground missile with infrared or laser guidance for engaging tanks, vehicles, and structures. A-10s and other attack aircraft carry these for close air support missions. CBU-97 Sensor-Fused Weapon, the cluster munition releasing submunitions that detect and destroy armored vehicles. Against Russian armor concentrations, these provide area effect capability, though international treaties restrict cluster munition employment. Moving on to Russian forces that would oppose American air power. Su-57 Felon, the Russian fifth-generation stealth fighter that represents Moscow's attempt to field capability matching F-22 and F-35. These incorporate reduced radar signature, supercruise, and advanced sensors theoretically approaching American capability. The reality is limited production, approximately 10.15, operational, and questions about actual stealth performance compared to advertised specifications. Russian stealth technology lags American developments by decade plus. And whether Su-57 radar signature matches claimed specifications remains unverified in combat. Against American F-22s and F-35s, Su-57s face opponents with proven stealth, combat experience, and technological maturity that Russian aircraft lack. The threat isn't that Su-57 matches American fighters. It's that Russia is developing capability that reduces American advantages. Su-35 Flankery, the advanced fourth-generation fighter that Russia operates in hundreds, armed with R-77 beyond visual range missiles, R-73 heat-seeking missiles, and powerful radar. These provide long-range intercept capability and air superiority against non-stealth opponents. Against American F-15s and F-16s, Su-35 performance is comparable. Outcomes depend on pilot skill, tactics, and supporting systems. Against F-22s and F-35s, Su-35s die before detecting American stealth fighters. Su-30 Flanker C, the multi-role variant conducting air superiority and ground attack missions. Russia and export customers operate these in large numbers, providing capable platforms that approach Su-35 capability. Su-27 Flanker, the original flanker variant that Russia maintains in service despite age. These provide additional numbers, though capability lags modern variants. Mi-G-31 Foxhound, the interceptor designed to destroy cruise missiles and bombers at extreme range using long-range R-33 missiles. These operate at high altitude and high speed, intercepting American bombers before they reach Russian airspace. Against stealth aircraft, MiG-3-1 radar struggles to detect and track targets, limiting effectiveness. MiG-29 Fulcrum, the lightweight fighter conducting air defense missions. Old but operational in large numbers, these provide mass that supplements more capable Su-35s. Against American fighters, these are outmatched but functional aircraft that American forces must destroy. S-400 Triumph, the long-range surface-to-air missile system, engaging 250 miles, and ballistic missiles at 60 miles. Russia operates these for strategic air defense, positioning batteries around cities, military bases, and critical infrastructure. With multiple missile types ranging from short-range point defense to extreme-range strategic intercept, S-400 creates engagement zones that American aircraft must penetrate or avoid. Against stealth aircraft, S-400 radar struggles to detect F-22s and F-35s at advertised ranges, though lower-frequency radar provides some detection capability at reduced ranges. American response combines stealth penetration, electronic warfare jamming, and HARE missiles destroying radar sites. S-300 series. The earlier surface-to-air missile system that Russia operates in large numbers alongside S-400. These provide area air defense with capabilities approaching S-400 at lower cost. Multiple variants exist with varying performance, all designed to destroy American aircraft. Buck SA-1117, the medium-range surface-to-air missile system, mounted on tracked vehicles, providing mobile air defense for ground forces. These engage aircraft at medium ranges and provide point defense for higher-value assets. Buk missiles shot down Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 over Ukraine, demonstrating lethality against undefended targets, though effectiveness against defended military aircraft with countermeasures is reduced. Tor SA-15, the short-range point defense system engaging aircraft, helicopters, and cruise missiles at close range. These provide final defensive layer protecting critical assets when long-range defenses are penetrated. Pantsir S-1, the combined gun and missile system providing close-range air defense. With 30 cannon and surface-to-air missiles, these engage aircraft, helicopters, and precision weapons. Mobile platforms complicate targeting by American forces. Tunguska, the self-propelled anti-aircraft system, combining 30 guns and missiles for protecting mechanized forces. These provide organic air defense against American close air support aircraft. Verba Manpads, the man-portable surface-to-air missile carried by infantry for engaging helicopters and low-flying aircraft with heat-seeking guidance. Widespread distribution means American aircraft operating at low altitude face threats across front lines. MiG-35, the newest Fulcrum variant with improved avionics and weapons approaching Su-35 capability and lighter airframe. Limited production means these supplement rather than replace. MiG-29 fleets. Tu-95 Bear, the turboprop bomber conducting strategic strikes using cruise missiles launched from international airspace. These don't penetrate American air defenses. They launch standoff weapons from positions beyond fighter intercept range. Tu-160 Blackjack, the supersonic strategic bomber conducting cruise missile strikes against distant targets. These penetrate defenses using speed and standoff weapons rather than stealth. Against American air defenses, survival depends on launching weapons before intercept rather than penetrating defended airspace. Su-34 Fullback, the strike aircraft conducting ground attack missions with armor protection and side-by-side seating for pilot and weapons officer. These conduct tactical strikes against ground targets using precision weapons and unguided bombs. Su-25 Frogfoot, the armored ground attack aircraft conducting close air support missions similar to American A-10. These operate at low altitude, supporting ground forces with guns, rockets, and bombs. Moving on to realistic confrontation assessment. In conflict where American and Russian air forces engage directly, American advantages in stealth, training, and numbers create overwhelming superiority that Russian forces can't overcome through defensive systems alone. F-22s and F-35s penetrate Russian airspace, destroying air defense nodes, and establishing air superiority that enables follow-on strikes by fourth-generation fighters and bombers. Russian S-400 and S-300 systems destroy some American aircraft. Stealth reduces detection, but doesn't eliminate it. But coordinated attacks using electronic warfare, anti-radiation missiles, and saturation tactics overwhelm defenses. The question isn't whether American air power prevails, but at what cost in aircraft and aircrew casualties. Russian advantage is geography. Operating from interior lines with numerous air bases, while American forces deploy from distant NATO bases requiring tanker support. Russian air defenses benefit from overlapping coverage, where multiple systems track American aircraft, creating situations where defeating one defense exposes aircraft to others. But American training advantages are decisive. Pilots flying more hours annually, against realistic threats, while Russian pilots fly limited sorties with constrained training resources. In large-scale conflict, American industrial capacity produces replacement aircraft, while Russian production struggles under sanctions and limited funding.